Gotta throw some cold water on the situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek, giving you the info you need to achieve mega nerd status. NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Ladies, Jay and Silent Bob are into his heels.
Yeah, everybody. Welcome. Another edition of NetHeads. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
If you want to take part in the program, you can one of many different ways. One of them, a little thing we call the Twitters. Trent, how do they do that?
Yeah, be like Mike Driscoll. Be like Roller Dog NC. So simple. Just use the hashtag NetHeads like Simon David Fisher, and it's that easy. We'll respond. We'll talk to you. We'll tell you what's going on. Even if it's after the fact on the podcast, we'll jump in.
Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Do that, folks. Do that. It's happening right now, and if it's not happening right now, it'll be happening later, and it's all good. So hi everybody. If you want to, you can also try and give us a call. NetHeads on air via Skype. That's the easiest way. You could use YakBet9020 or 866-610-WILL. But you know what? NetHeads on air via Skype, I think, is the way most people like to use it, isn't it, Trent?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And it's easy. It's simple.
It really is. It's all NetHeads on air. I mean, that's kind of become the brand, is NetHeads on
I think
air.
So. Yeah.
Even though technically speaking, we're off the air, or OTT, off the. No, I don't know. Never mind. That's what the new Star Trek show is. It's referred to as an OTT, but I think it's.
Because you're not watching it, like you're not generating Nielsen ratings from it.
Or you're I don't know, man. Look, I'm not a TV exec. I don't know these things. I'm just sitting here looking pretty for you, Trent. That's what I do. That's how I do. Until, you get kicked off of the internet and I'm not here for you to look pretty.
I can hear you though.
Well, that's good. Okay, well, let's just stick with what we got. Anyway, welcome everyone. Not really sure how to proceed, Trent. I got to tell you.
Yeah. What's on the mind?
Well, you know what? Let's just instead. How about we just check in on you? How you been? What's been losing?
Yeah, just been doing a little this, a little that. Did the old Block Film Festival. Well, I guess it's Block Art Festival because it's art and it's film and it's learning panels as well.
Now wait a minute.
So
you
just
say
finish
block.
that up. Yeah, it's the Center Street block. We kind of take it over for the weekend, and so just finished up with that. And just finished up with Comic-Con right before that. So now I can kind of take a deep breath again.
That's one way to put it. Funniest part, long story short, I have a new mixer in studio.
Yeah.
Which I'm amazed by because, folks, look, if you're listening to this, originally we were a podcast about podcasting. We're a tech podcast, whatever. But I have to tell you, it really is true. You want the right tools for the right job, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in this case, what that means is you may have been skimping and doing this or doing that, but sometimes, just sometimes, maybe it's a good idea to put together that savings jar and, it's like make sure you bring in all of your aluminum cans yourself for recycling and, you do all the things you can in order to get a little bit of extra cash or coin in your pocket so you can buy the right tools for the job. Although it has a certain level, look, this mixer is still halfway through the restoration process. Only half of it works currently.
Oh, really? Okay.
But it's the half that I need. I've coveted this mixer.
Half it's full.
Yeah, it is half full, Trent, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I'm half full of it, but this is half full.
Yes.
It has way more buses than I need. It is a Mackie 1642 VLZ3, in case anybody wants to know and wants to. Yeah, I know that's a mouthful, right?
Is it? It's got like what, 16 buses?
Something like that. It's a crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, 16 actually. Yeah, because you can
Yeah.
split the left, right, balanced, unbalanced. I don't know. It's like, 220, 225, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
It in many ways is overkill for a home podcast. But when you think about everything that I'm doing at once,
Yeah.
I'm now just doing it from the board. Let me give you guys some insight. Okay, so I wanted to do multi-channel recording because I got my hands on the Zoom H6. Amazing recording deck, just
Yeah.
amazing. It's an absolute pro tool that you have to have.
Not to be confused with Pro Tools.
Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't have brought that up. I'm sorry. Thing of audio. If there's ever a point where Trent and I are talking and he's making a great point and for some reason I talked over him, I could take my talking over him out and you would just
True.
hear Trent.
True.
It lets you make the final product that much more polished. Now, in order to do this, however, I had to split the audio source I was getting. So what I had to do in this rinky-dink operation was I used a bunch of those USB audio boards, not boards, but I should have just grabbed one because I'm sure there's one literally laying around, probably just out of reach. But it's got 2 RCA input and 2 RCA output for left and right, so you can plug them into a device. But the benefit too is that they also have a headphone jack. So
Okay.
I would split off the headphone jack either to the mixing board or to the recorder, depending on what I wanted. But I will tell you, and if you look at the YouTube videos, this is where you can see it since they're raw and unfiltered, as well as the Twitch ones and all that jazz. What happens is with all these mixed sources and mixed amplifications and everything, you get a lot of weird noise, okay? And it's from all the different electric currents that are getting involved and crisscrossing and everything else. Everything's coming into the mixer. Everything's coming out of the mixer, and it is the clearest signal I've ever heard in my life.
Feels good, doesn't it?
I've only heard one signal clearer than this, and it was in the only radio studio in my life that I've built professionally. And
that felt good.
Yeah, that felt good. This feels almost as good. It is just amazing. It's a thing of joy. I don't know other way to put it. So, it's okay, folks. Even if you're a podcast hobbyist, yeah, you don't want to throw big money at stuff. But if you do, when you finally get to that point, start saving up for the right stuff and
Yep.
get it when you're ready to make that commitment, right, Trent?
It's so true. Yeah. Like for example, I'm halfway through. Well, a little over halfway through. I'm budgeting for a new piece of tech equipment. I'm gonna get. It's the Tascam 4x4 audio interface. It's sexy and it's beautiful. It's a MDI or MIDI MIDI interface, and yeah, it's just one of those things, like you do your research on it, you see what the reviews are and everything, and then when you save up for it, I liken it a lot to like skiing or cycling. The relatively can be fun things, but if you don't have the right equipment, they end up being more frustrating than anything.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's the same thing. So yeah, you look for that right stuff, and then I guess there is something to be said about like putting up with less than optimum things prior, just so that you can really appreciate the good when you get it.
Yeah, well, that's and that's true too. Is at first, especially with something. I mean, let's face it, like podcasting.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to throw. I mean, unless you look, if you got money to burn, more power to you. I'm happy you got the lifestyle. If you've got a trust fund because great grandpa was lucky enough to hit oil, and the family's just been kind of riding a trust fund ever since.
Going up in them there hills.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Well, they said California is the place you ought to be, Trent. Load it up.
It's true.
Anyway, if you have it, sure, yeah, do your thing and go ahead and go, all out. But if you're a hobbyist, get started low. But I will say, like for example, and I apples to oranges in this case, but I used to have a Behringer mixer, which is really kind of it's a semi-decent name, but it is considered a bargain piece of equipment. So it's economical, right? So you're going to get certain trade-offs. I don't know, maybe it's the pickups here or there, or the this and that. All I'm saying is you can probably get a comparable mixer to this one for much less in the Behringer range. But again, I'm not hearing any noise even with everything turned off the way it should
Yeah.
be. So I don't know. I mean, it's been a while. My first mixer ever, I was pampered, was a Mackie, and now
Oh,
I got
nice.
another Mackie, and so it's just Mackie and Yamaha. I think are the two names in mixers that people just dig and love, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm rocking right now. The MG 124EX, I believe. 124C, and I've loved it. It's been awesome. I had a smaller one before it for probably, oh gosh, I don't know, I used for a long time, and then one of the buses that kind of my go-to bus eventually died and went out. So now using this one. A couple more buses, don't use them, but I got them there in case I need them.
Trent, you bring up a really good point on something too, because you said one of your buses went out. Now this Mackie, like I said, it's halfway through restoration, and I'm not kidding. When I got it, it was probably under about an eighth of an inch of dust. Okay.
Yeah.
Which for a mixer, that's no bueno, kids, because you've got all these knobs and sliders. So when dirt works in there, it makes them stop working well. It creates issues with the contacts. It's definitely a whole bunch of no bueno. So I'm going to tell everyone right now within earshot, if you do have a mixer, okay, and you don't have something covering it when you're not using it,
Yep.
immediately stop doing that. Go to your Walmarts or your Hobby Lobbies or wherever you can. Just get yourself a nice piece of lightweight black fabric if you want it to look okay, and just get a piece big enough to cover all of your sliders and contacts. So that way, when you don't need to have it, like accessible for buttons and sliders and things, you can just keep the dust off of it. You can every once in a while take that off, give it a thing. Because like with the Mackies, all of the knobs, all of the things, they are pre-lubed. So if you get into having to use something like a contact cleaner, you actually risk compromising the lubrication they've already got. So now that I've used it once, I may be using a contact cleaner every once in a while because the natural lube will have dried up.
Yeah.
Show title.
So yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things like you want to talk to it, get to know it a little bit, and feed the rabbit before you start petting it, type thing, right?
We're definitely not on the same page, but I like what you're saying. I'm just going to put that out there. So anyway, so I may be at a point where I have to continuously do that again, but the trade-off is a bang-up mixer. And these things, I mean, guys, if you do take care of them, they're virtually bulletproof, all right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like any good piece of equipment, unless it's wear and tear, if you've got it in a good, constant environment, it's going to last you for a long, long time. And like I said, this one is, I think, I say half, but there's only like 3 more buses to do. And the fact that I've just been obsessing over this thing ever since I got it in the studio, right? Because it's like getting a new video game for your gaming system if you want to.
Exactly.
If I want to put it into a comparable for your folks, or it's like, it's like Spider-Man Homecoming came out on home video, so you watched it at least 3 times because you can just sit in your room and watch it now, right?
Yeah. Why? Because you can.
Because I can. That's right. Why? Oh, why'd you put Spider-Man on? Because it's there. It's because it's the Spider-Man, the Homecoming.
The gross.
Oh, by the way, I mentioned I wouldn't mention that movie again until you've seen it. So, but that doesn't count.
I do have a copy. I just need to watch it now.
Sweet Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, it was good. Nice episode of NetHeads. Trent's got to go watch Spider-Man. So until next time, my name is Will.
Stop it.
Okay, I will. I'll stop right there.
Stop it.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know what got into me. I got to tell you, obviously, too, if you're watching the video. By the way, I haven't checked in on any of them. I keep opening a window, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to check. Because, it's like, are they screaming messages at us? This is the one problem when you do this multi-platform publishing, if you will. You don't get to really see the people showing the comments because you're all over the place when you're doing this.
And luckily for us, we've long since been using the hashtag NetHeads on Twitter.
Good point.
So we get to see, luckily the things that Ryan Connolly is posting from the haunted house that he's working at right now. And not to mention that fracking cat says restoration. Join me in Texas, sir. I'll show you something to restore. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means. I'm kind of afraid, to be honest. I don't know what it means, and now I'm a little scared. So I'm not going to touch that one with an any size pole. Okay, I'm just not going to.
I'm a little confused.
It's all right. I don't blame you. So am I. It's the way
Okay.
the cookie crumbles in
Yeah.
this case. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. If we didn't already say that, and Lord knows why would you at this point. Anyway, so we can't keep track of all the chat. So, like realistically speaking, even though you may be watching it on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, realistically, hashtag NetHeads on Twitter is what you really want to do. Anyway, so where was I going with all of this nonsense? Oh, one of the things, if you're watching the video, that you will notice, I also have what has been talked about recently, and that is the Shure SM7B.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And its companion buddy.
The Cloud Lifter.
Yes.
Okay, I understand why people really like this, because as it stands right now, with the beautiful addition of the mixer, and the fact that I can take the mid-range and set a specific frequency for it not to let through, I've now got a virtually silent environment when it comes to background noise and the like. Folks, I don't know when this became the oh my gosh, all over my podcast, but it does. I guess that's kind of, it's in light of everything else going on in the world, at least we have these things to talk about, because if we get into everything that's happened, it's just kind of hard to, I don't know, to even want to continue going in some cases. Even though
It's like, what's the point?
I don't know, Trent, have I ever mentioned this on air, or have I just mentioned this off air, that I've often thought that sometimes it may be fun to make the central theme of NetHeads now become a podcast that is the death of the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So you're just slowly putting off that it shouldn't be, we should pull the plug on grandma being the podcast, but we love her too much that we can't.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Just that type of thing. So the idea is that we acknowledge the fact, look, we're in this, but we know that we're now documenting the downward spiral of what this thing is, right?
Yeah. We acknowledge that it tried to be something, and it never really met that point. And so now it's just a matter of laying it to rest, but having the balls to actually do it.
Yeah, exactly. Or more to the point too, it's just like, okay, which one of the two hosts is gonna flinch first, right? Because
Yeah.
But then the funny thing is, if the podcast then becomes successful, are you willing to commit to it though?
Right,
like,
exactly. So how do you keep it running at that point?
You can't. That's the thing, because at that point, then you betray the concept. So have I mentioned this on the show before, or was this just conversationally?
I think in converse, just in
Okay.
passing.
So that's one of the things that I wanted to bring to the table, just as a consideration, or at least to keep in our mind. Because not that I'm saying it would become popular at that point, because it's anyway, it wouldn't happen that way, but it would be funny if you were tested with that element. Am I going to stick with the concept? It really is. This is two guys just burnt out on it, and they're just keep going, and we got to see who flinches first.
So I mean, like, do you have like, okay, you have to set parameters for each show at that point. Like, okay, we're gonna make it at least 30 minutes this week.
Exactly.
And so you're like, okay, well, I mean, I've got some stuff we can talk about, but it doesn't really matter type stuff. Like, do you go that route? Like, how do you structure it so that it can have otherwise, I don't know because I think it has a good idea, but we got to, if you're going to flesh it out, you've got to have something, some sort of trope or something that would establish what it is, right? Otherwise it would just continue being what it already is.
I was going to say, I think the terrifying part is that we're already in the midst of it, and we're acting like we're not. Oh, but anyway, yeah. So life is shitty. The country's going to hell, but, whatever. Hey.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to tell you, the only way I will speak about the terrible ordeal that happened in Las Vegas, because I think One, there's just so many unanswered questions, and all of the resulting rhetoric from it is just something that is going to reverberate within the bubbles that people live in now. So,
Sure. Yeah,
two guys that are talking up how much they love mixers and talking about the death of their podcast. We're not anybody that's going to give you any type of closure when it comes to something like this.
No.
But I will tell you that it was a kind of a weird experience because Sunday night the whole family was going to bed, and so I turned off what was playing on the DVR, and it defaulted to the local news, and this was around 11 o'clock. So that's shortly after things are really starting to happen, and that's when the San Francisco ABC news anchor was saying, first, breaking story right now, we're being told there are shots fired on the Strip in Las Vegas, more as information is available. Then I turn off the TV, right? So I have just gone from the mention of somebody is shooting, and then I wake up the next morning to find out what happened. And,
what exactly entailed.
And that was that in itself was a surreal experience. Nothing like what anyone went through, but it was just bizarre to kind of be have those two different bookends. It's like at first it's an obscure reference we don't know until the horrific thing about it. And the other thing too that sucks about it is that I don't think anyone's ever going to know why it happened. Right?
No, exactly. Well, and it's one of those things because if we knew if circumstances were different and we, or meaning authorities, people in charge of stuff, knew what caused it, things would already be in place to correct whatever caused it. Do you know what I mean? For example, if this person was, and I'm not saying this is I'm just throwing an example out there. If this person had been here on a student visa, right, and that's the only reason they were in the United States, we would have crunched down on everyone with a student visa in the United States already, like by this time. But since we don't know what happened, there's nothing really that we can have a knee-jerk reaction to try and appease everyone or let everyone feel safe.
Well, and
that's the really unsettling part.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of get into the rhetoric, because now it's just like, okay, well, as a quick appeasement, the NRA is willing to give up bump stocks, to make it appear that they're at least that's my perspective on it.
Yeah.
And then of course that bump stock talk is going to be, it's first it grabs headlines, and then you start hearing the people that are like, whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean you're going to take this away from me? Kind of thing. So it's already gotten to that point. So it's, I don't know. How did you hear about it? Please don't tell me you had one of those really sleepy Sundays and then, woke up midday Monday to the world burning.
No, I just, so how I wake so, they talk about how your screen's blue light will keep you up at night. And so you shouldn't have screen time in bed.
Yes, I have heard that.
So I use it the exact opposite. So the second that I wake up, I grab my phone and just start reading.
Okay, good.
And
Yeah.
It'll actually wake you up super fast. You can't go back to sleep after that. And so, I popped it and I got my phone and just started looking at Facebook and was just blown away by all the news that was on there.
Yeah, yet news about nothing.
Well, at that point, there were quite a bit had come out. It was interesting talking to friends who were watching it as it was happening, and how conflicting reports were coming in, and how they thought that there were multiple shooters and this, that, and the other, and how much that narrative changed to when it was actually resolved and they were able to pull in actual facts about what was going on.
Yeah, but still, just boy, oh boy, a lot of unanswered questions that we'll never know. Unless somebody finally uncovers some hidden manifesto that has been yet to be revealed, I don't think there'll be anything.
Nope.
It's just one of those things where a switch flipped the wrong way somewhere and ba-boom.
Yeah.
But anyway, on a lighter note, so you have Spider-Man, but how long have you had it, and why haven't you watched it yet?
Because of my weekend was super full, and then just been back at work, and I've got picked up a couple of side projects I'm working on. So my leisure time hasn't really existed the past week or so.
Now, here's the thing that I respect about that, Trent, is if also you're saying in your head, okay, well, now I've picked up these other side gigs, so I'll get a little extra money in my pocket. I'm going to save that Spider-Man in the pocket there for me.
Totally.
And that's my reward for getting all the stuff done.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've waited this long. You know what I mean? That there's no reason that I would, not, that I would watch it passively. I've got the Golden Girls to watch things passively. I mean, I want to save my time and actually enjoy it.
Oh, you do. Trust me, you do. Yes. Anyway, okay, so we'll drop that and then just leave that alone.
Yeah.
By the way, were you affected by the Equifax breach? I never asked.
I mean, I know that they have my information. Did I try and pay them to keep from sharing it again? No.
Well, gee, I don't understand why you wouldn't. It's
I have enough outstanding debt with the federal government due to student loans that if anyone tried to the only thing that anyone could really do, because my credit's so bad, the only thing they could really do with my information would maybe be to file taxes in my place. But no matter what the amount that they put and then tried to get it a tax refund, the government just collects it anyway for all my student loans as payment for my student loans. So I'm not really worried about it.
You know
what I mean?
Screw it. Ain't no. I'm just gonna say this out there. Anybody that has my information, if you do find a way to actually do something with it, please just let me know so I could do it too. It's all I'm asking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look, you probably won't be able to get a credit card or anything. Maybe you can file some taxes, and if you do that, just exaggerate a ton.
Yeah. Go nuts.
It's like a return worth 20,000 or something, just to hopefully maybe that'll knock down some of my student loan debt.
Yeah, exactly. Please, come on, do something with it that's useful. It's what I'm asking for. Because I'm just not getting it here.
Yeah. Because.
So Trent, I don't know how nose down you have been, but I think it would be we'd be remiss to not bring up the fact that the second trailer for
oh my gosh,
The Last Jedi came out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
dude.
What did you, I the thing that I loved about it is that I still have, it's just like it is exactly like not Phantom Menace. Holy shit. Why do I always want to go back there?
Force Awakens. I know where you're going.
Thank you so much. Yes. So with Force Awakens, it was the same thing. I had no clue what was going on. And it's so infrequent nowadays that we don't get trailers that really kind of do tell us certain parts of the movie,
Right, yes.
In this, everything was just so quick for what they gave us that it's just there's no way to piece together almost anything from this whatsoever, which I liked. They gave me a tease.
Yes.
Because they're like it's gonna be just a little over 2 months. Be a grown up. You can deal with this.
Tickets are now on sale.
Yeah, they clearly have never heard me talk about Spider-Man, but and think about this. That's the other thing too, that they're just don't worry about it. But because you've got Thor Ragnarok and Justice League, between now and then. But that's what I was gonna say. That it's very funny. People have always said that it seems like when DC drops something, somehow shortly on the tail of that, Marvel drops something even bigger, right?
Yep. Yeah, they're not one to be outdone or upstaged.
But in this case, it seems like they took that synergy, because what happened is over the weekend they're like, "Hey, Justice League trailer, here we go, folks!" And people saw it and they're like, "That was great." And then Disney just said, "Oh yeah, tomorrow."
That was great, wasn't it?
That was really nice. And tomorrow we're gonna drop some Star Wars on you.
Thanks for playing.
It's just, it's just like somebody does something and Disney's just like, "Hold my beer," and there they go.
Exactly. Yeah. No. It truly is. It's great though, because we're seeing canonically Luke Skywalker, who at the end of Jedi is like this bad A mofo that's got shit figured out, right? And then all through Force Awakens, we get little glimpses of like, man, something happened that like really affected him, and things went terribly wrong. And then in this trailer, we see just a broken version of Skywalker that's like, good Lord, what has happened to this man?
We thought he was going there to try and learn something and be serene. No, he's just hiding from the universe.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I've fucked up hard enough. This is no longer can I do this?
Well, I think that really is his gist on it. It's just like, what good? And it's the same question we've actually brought up. It's like, what good has come of this struggle between basically what are these religious factions? Because.
Yeah. Yes.
But then again, it seems like every time we run into one of these dark side people, they always appear to want to take over everything, which, generally speaking, I think is kind of frowned upon, right?
Well, and I think and I hope so. If you look at the original trilogy, it's kind of about. It's about a lot of people coming together to do something good, right? And then the prequels were all about the heritage of this one family. And so now I think we're going to see that the heritage and trying to keep it undemocratized is what actually led to the downfall of everyone. And so we're going to see more, hopefully more people learning to use the Force, learning to use it in their everyday life and brings back that, may the Force be with you mantra, and hopefully see the end of the Jedi to where it is just something that everyone taps into, and it's no longer just this elite few, because that has helped no one ever, it seems like.
Well, now it seems like, to me, it seems like right now, it's based on everything we know, it's probably the most balanced it's ever been, right? Because you got the Kylo
absolutely.
Ren and the Snoke clearly doing some stuff, because that is one thing I got out of it. Like, one of the last shots we see is Rey basically looks like she's being tortured in some way, and then you can see the gold robes of Snoke, because Snoke was also just talking, but I don't think that was just creative editing. I think that was him in the room doing that. So you got those two, and then you may have like Luke and Rey. So it's like, well, okay, y'all just everybody play nice in your corners, or I don't know what, but relax. And let's let this thing balance out.
One thing that came up today at work when we were talking about the trailer, it's interesting that we have yet to see a female character on the dark side. We've seen the Captain Phasma, but she's not Force wielding. We've yet to see a dark side Force wielder that is female. And I wonder if that's intentional, or if there's something about the inherent good that is woman, or if that's just like, oh, oops, I guess we never have done that, have we? Now, granted, we've seen it. We have seen it in more expanded universe, right? We've seen it in the Clone Wars and the TV series and Rebels, but not in the cinematic universe. And so I think that's something to think about.
Well, I think we saw multi-gender in the prequels. There were definitely a mix of the younglings before Anakin did them in.
Yes, but that was for the light side of the Force. We've yet to see anyone on the dark side.
Now I'm just completely off base. And the thing too, though, is, and I'm gonna say two names put together in an order that will make people instantly run a comparison of anyone we would see, and that would be Mara Jade, because for the longest time in the extended universe, or whatever you want to call it, she was the sort of silent apprentice of Darth Vader, or what have you. And
right.
I think anything that happens, people would instantly run those comparisons. But then again, I think the executives don't give a shit. They just want asses in seats. So, and we're just helping that along by talking about it. What's wrong with us?
I know, and loving every second of it.
Yeah, well, we are, but I don't know if anyone else is.
True.
It's a dance you got to do, Trent. You got to.
Well, sometimes you lead and sometimes you follow.
I guess.
I mean, it doesn't matter what you don't know, but life, it's a dance. I think you'll learn as you go.
Whoa, that sounds prolific.
Yeah. I listened to a lot of country and western music growing up.
Roller Dog NC on Twitter points out there have only been a couple Dark Force wielders in the movies total. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
that's true. Yeah.
It's a very valid point. They've always been on the lower end. That fracking cat says, I am not at all impressed with this new trailer. I'll see it, but I'm looking forward to Thor Ragnarok more.
Oh gosh, I am too, actually. But it's closer too.
Yeah? It definitely is. It's just around the corner. I don't know. Did you see the Justice League trailer?
I actually have not seen the new Justice League trailer.
And I don't know. I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I'll just say it anyway. Trent?
Really?
Eh.
Just a little huh?
Eh.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything that leapt out at me. I mean, they did show us a little Henry Cavill in the very beginning, kind of in some dream sequence. So
Okay.
they're opening our minds to the third act reveal of the last son of Krypton actually being revived.
Yes.
You know, from events that you still haven't seen, from Batman v Superman that started off with, you know, Man of Steel that you've never seen.
Yeah. Ugh, gosh, just can't bring myself to do it. Scott Mosier pretty much killed any hope that I had of seeing those.
Well, I gotta say, the director's cut or the extended cut of Batman v Superman was at least a little more rewarding. And I did go back and I did see like the regular one because you know it was all over the cable service that I'm willing to pay for and you're not. I watched both of them and it's true. It really is a lot less obvious that what they're doing is framing Superman for the death of all these people in this village. That really didn't come across. So I was thinking I was an idiot and I just missed it, and thank God I didn't. But I am an idiot. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's unrelated.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that the DC universe is a little more hyper real than ours, because like basically, and don't get me wrong, Wonder Woman I found a very enjoyable movie. I mean, it's clear they could get it right, and maybe I don't know. Should we put more faith into the fact that they brought Joss Whedon in to quote unquote do reshoots and finish up the project?
Well, and that was also due to Snyder having family problems, right?
Oh yeah, I'm not taking that away from it at all. I'm just saying they brought in the man who was previously the Wizard of the Marvel movies.
Well, and who in 2000, what was it, 2006, 2004, had a Wonder Woman feature lined up with Warner Brothers that they backed out on.
Yeah, it's funny when you mention that too, because there was also that's the one. Never mind, that's the one I was thinking of, which would have starred as Wonder Woman the lady who played not Black Canary, but something else on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and now she plays the second in command on the Orville, Seth MacFarlane's
MacFarlane's new thing. Yeah.
Have you seen any of that? I have.
I haven't yet. How is it?
I have to tell you, it is. I really get a kick out of it, and I really appreciate it, because here's exactly, I could tell you everything about it in one broad stroke, and you'll just get it. Okay. It is a Star Trek show.
Okay.
But all of that self-righteousness is gone, and it's just all of us as part of Starfleet. Just every same old regular Joe.
So, I mean, I've, and granted, I'm not the best demographic just because I'm so isolated to streams of advertising, but I kind of got the impression that it was a comedy. Is that not the case?
Oh no, it is. It's just what it does is it's just sprinkled in. So but it is trying to be an earnest sci-fi show with real sci-fi effort put in. I mean, it really is. It's trying to be the next. It feels like the next generation without the silly jumpsuits and all the self-righteousness, like I said.
Okay.
I mean, hell, the Seth MacFarlane, he plays the captain.
Just in the, I almost got like a Galaxy Quest feel from it, from the what little advertising I saw for it.
Yeah, well, I could get that because both ships are really kind of curvy, and But it really plays out well. Like Seth MacFarlane's captain of the ship, his second in command is actually his ex-wife, who at the very beginning of the pilot, he walks in on her having an affair and gets a divorce. So then it's 1 year later. I mean, something you'd never see in Starfleet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I can dig that.
Yeah, it's just like if everyday guys were part of this big thing. It really is. It's like modern civilization dropped into there. And so it's in many ways I find it refreshing and funny. And they do have like little jokes, little bits of brevity added in. Like for example, in one episode, one of the crew members has to come and ask for a leave because he's just laid an egg because he's part of this. He's part of this genderless society, or they're all male. The entire race are male. So they reproduce apparently through some type of fertilization, and one of the two lays an egg. And so they go over this whole discussion about, okay, well, how much time do you need? Do you sit on it? And then after the guy leaves, MacFarlane just puts down his pad, grabs his coffee mug, and takes a sip and says, "Now I want eggs." And just... Which admittedly is a dark but funny joke. I really appreciated that. But yeah, I'd encourage you to check it out if it's available on the Hulu or what have you. However you would access the Fox shows.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. One of them things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you'll enjoy it. You know, when you have time, which apparently you don't. So.
Well, you know, all in due time.
Well, you would hope.
Yeah.
If it weren't in oh, hey, Trent, this is interesting. It looks like Michael Driscoll is calling.
Oh, you don't say.
Well, I'm a little scared, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm a little scared.
Why?
It's because I haven't tested this out. So we
sure.
went through all this. I don't
Not
even.
that you're scared of Mike.
No.
But you're afraid that we may not be able to. It might not work right.
Yeah, I don't even know if we'll hear him. Mike, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, try again. Sort of. It sounds distorted, doesn't it, Trent?
I can't hear him.
You're coming in and out a little bit.
Oh, there we go.
That sounded better. Oh, I think things are balanced out now. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you fine.
And I can hear you. Oh, wow, this is
Yeah,
incredible. This is exciting. Guys, I've never been so excited to have something work in my life.
Well, almost.
We don't get that a lot around here. Mike, gee,
Yes, sir.
I can't even imagine why you're contacting us tonight.
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. Any particular reason why you might be checking in?
Well, you were talking about the Orville, which I also enjoy. And I just recently did something for you guys.
Yeah, that's right. Trent, I just slipped it in there under your nose. I didn't even.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know.
Trent hasn't seen it yet?
I don't know what the guy is looking at. I mean, and I don't want to know. But
No.
We've got a new logo that we're rolling out, starting with this episode, number 260. Nice even number. I really liked that. And it was just one of those things where at first I was trying to toy around with trying to make some type of animated logo or maybe something 3D, and I'm just like, man, I'm getting nowhere. So I just reached out to Mike at one point, and I'm just like, hey, man, so like, you know, have you ever done anything like this? And he's like, yeah, it's possible. I'm like, okay, good. So I'm not stupid. So then I go back and I try to do it some more, and then I realize I've got the rest of my life to actually live. So, and I don't have the time to dedicate to this. And then Mike is just like, hey, man, I'm intrigued to know what you were thinking, and I'd love to put something together for you. And now he has gone through this month-long process of getting abused via email. And we have a new animated logo. Actually, I had it right at the head of the show as well. I was able to quickly adapt it. So it's just NetHeads, and then it's this big, beautiful electronic brain against a matrix background, and the little lights are moving everywhere. Trent, it's a thing of beauty, Mike. Mike, I got to tell you, I am thrilled to death with it. I love it.
I'm glad you're happy. That was my main goal.
Yeah, and
yeah, if the client's happy, that's all that matters.
And Trent's been so busy. I'm just like, yeah, this looks good. Trent, what do you think? Crickets. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Don't I have crickets on here? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, here they are. Hold on. Trent? Trent, do you like it, Trent? You like it? I'm not getting anything from him. Okay. You know. So anyway.
There we go. Yeah. Did I do good, boss?
Yeah. Anyway, so we got that worked out, and there's a nice square version that we'll also be able to use for the album artwork. So we're gonna look all fancy like out there, Trent. Now we're not gonna be looking like two animated heads screaming at each other with technology coming out of their bungholes.
I'm really glad you're
Well,
happy
we
with it.
need technology for our bum
And I'm
holes.
sorry, like, you just kept on saying, I'm sorry, I feel like a dick, and after a while, I'm like, okay, fine, you want me to call you a dick, I'll call you a dick.
Yeah, Dick, whatever, fine.
Get in line.
Shut up.
At that point, get in line.
Very sweet, and everything was just very like, look, this is what I want, and everything like that. I'm like, fine, no problem, I can fix it, you know?
Yeah, it was just one of those things where when it's somebody else's, I mean, because, you know, okay, yeah, you said, let me do this for you, but at the same time, I mean, that's your art that you're presenting to us. So some part of you is in that, regardless. And, you know, it could be that you were really thrilled about the way this one aspect looked. And then, like, what if I come along? And that's the one element that got nitpicked, right? Because then I feel bad.
It has nothing to do with things. My main goal was to make sure that you were happy. That was it. If you, like, I gave you 2 designs, and you're like, well, I like the first one better. Like, oh, okay, no problem. It wasn't the fact that the second one wasn't good. It was not what you wanted. And I was like, yeah.
But at the same time, I also didn't know what I wanted until you showed me the first one, which is just this gorgeous, beautiful brain. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really thrilled. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this for us, and I mean, I'm just thrilled because it also forced me to make things a little easier. So now I can actively change elements for the video portion of the show, like in real time, and that helped motivate me. So thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You guys provided hours upon hours of entertainment for me. So, you know, this is what I can do in return. So I'm happy to do it.
Oh, really appreciate it. Really do. You got anything to say, Trent?
One love.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nothing.
All right. Well, thanks for calling, man. And I'll tell you, Mike. We'll you know, you'll hear from us really soon when I call to complain about something, and then ask you to fix it.
Not a problem.
Thank you, sir. One love.
Thanks,
love.
dude.
There we go, Trent, our new graphic artist right there, Mike Driscoll, huh?
That CG guy.
I gotta say, man, if there's any way we could throw him more work or anything, so he can actually make some money off of his work, I gotta tell you guys, is it that CG guy something or other on Twitter? What is it?
74, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think anymore, Trent. This is
Well,
late
you know,
for me.
It's because we broke you.
No, we didn't. I'm okay.
Yes, that's CG guy 79, not 74.
There we go.
Making him older than he really is.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what the number represents, Trent. Don't make assumptions. When you assume, you make an ass out of Sue and me, and I don't want to get into that.
And not Sue. She's a sweetheart.
She's a saint, is what she
Yeah.
is, Trent.
Absolutely.
Has anything else gone on in the world that we wanted to talk about? I'm trying to think. I already talked about the decline of a podcast. So we already got that one. Ooh. This week, I'll bring this up just because I found it very interesting. So this week, there wasn't a new Hollywood Babylon that was recorded, but they actually did 2 shows in San Jose, and they just released one, which was the Saturday night show. So this past week, as a gap fill, they put out the first night, right?
Oh, yeah.
And let me just say that there is a very interesting revelation from Ralph about a certain aspect of his past.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just gonna drop that out there and let you do with it as you please.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm dying to ask you what you're doodling, because I know that's what's happening. Don't lie, right?
Just man thing.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Little man thing right there.
Okay. And do you want to clarify that for those that can't see the picture? Because, you know, it's like, because everyone's just like, he's
Like,
drawing
shit,
dicks again.
Is he drawing a dick?
Again?
The answer to that is yes.
I was just trying to draw a cat. Just trying to draw a cat, Trent.
Oh gosh. You know what? I'll tweet it out so everyone can see it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's really
Yeah.
nice of you.
Yeah. Everybody wins.
A little something, something, huh?
Yeah. Little thing.
Oh, okay. I can get behind that. Oh, by the way, Trent, one of the last things. Well, there are two more things we could talk about, if you don't mind.
Okay. By all means, go for it.
One of them was the fact that it was the season finale of Rick and Morty.
Oh, which I haven't seen the last episode yet.
Okay, that's fine. We've come to find out since then, though, because I guess people were expecting more or something. I found it enjoyable, but it's very similar to what happened last season. Last season there were supposed to be more episodes, and they had to dial back the order. They did the same thing this year. So suddenly they took an episode that wasn't supposed to be the finale, and then they finaleized
and made
it.
that the finale. Okay.
Right? But I still thoroughly enjoyed it. But if you haven't seen it, fine. I'll leave that there. We'll forget about that. But also Rick and Morty related. So Saturday I was engaged, and so I didn't do what I was expecting to do around 2:00 on Saturday. And based on what I heard, I'm glad I did, because somebody in McDonald's marketing just had no clue about what they were planning against.
Yep.
So there was a limited number of McDonald's locations that were having special sauces in celebrating this new buttermilk-coated chicken tenders that they've got.
Chicken tender, yeah.
So they had one of many sauces, and they said they would also have a very limited supply of the Szechuan sauce.
The Mulan-specific Szechuan sauce that was
Yes.
used as a gimmick back in 2004?
Yeah, and they were supposed to have posters for it as well, like that went with the theme, because the drawing was very kind of Rick and Morty-esque. It wasn't a portal, but it was a portal-ish looking ring with aliens and an alien land inside of it. So it was very Rick and Morty inspired. And then it turns out, I don't know about the posters, but like the limited number of locations that got it, they got like 20 packets of sauce.
Yeah, like limited, as in like very limited.
It's almost like I wonder if some of those promotional gallons that we saw, like the Rick and Morty cast get, and the and Dead Mouse bought, those. It's almost like they said, "Well, we got one more jar. We got one more gallon. How many of these little tubs can we fill this with?" And that's the number they came up with.
We can do a couple hundred out of them all.
We could probably do 20 a location. Oh, I don't know. To me, it just seems baffling. I would think that at some point, someone who would be getting involved with this would have some kind of insight to the what am I looking for?
The fandom that Rick and Morty really is.
Yes, it does have a major fandom. It's not just well, I don't know. Everybody I know watches it, but that's the way life works, right? I'm watching it because of Trent. And Trent watched. Who got you? Did you just stumble across it, or was somebody like, "Oh my gosh, you've got to see this"?
No, I think originally just Adult Swim. I knew it was coming out.
They
because it was on Adult Swim. Yeah.
Did they successfully market it to you?
Yes. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I had no clue whatsoever. But most of the time when it comes to TV shows, I really don't have a clue anyway. Like I don't know what's going on. But I will say, love where The Good Place is going.
Oh gosh, is it back on yet?
The Good Place? Yeah, you're like we're already 3 episodes in, man.
Oh, okay, good. That means I can jump in again.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you can. It's getting interesting. They took it in a whole direction I didn't mean to, or they didn't mean to. But anyway, or they meant to. Never mind.
You didn't see it going that way.
I had words that I thought speak could, but not good. So
I'll tell you what, I was a little nervous that they might work themselves into a kind of a hole, but that's good to know that because this is something I want to see go on for a very, very long time. In fact, a colleague of mine at work got a Nielsen box installed at his house over the weekend, and we were just talking about if there's anything in particular that I would like to see actually live on, or if there's anything that he should watch to make sure that it's getting its ratings. He said that he accounts for about 25,000 people just in what he watches, which is crazy. It's that's still a way of measuring things, but it sent me down the road, and I showed them everyone at work today the series trailer for Constantine, and everyone was blown away that was on NBC, and they're like, this is insane, like, how this looks really good, how did it not live on? And I'm just like, well, that's why I don't have faith in humanity anymore.
It didn't go on because a while behind that show, or a while ahead of it, there was a very expensive and very failed show called The Cape, and so when it comes to money and risk, that got reduced.
Yep, yeah, it's true.
That's my guess.
That didn't even get a full season, did it?
No, it did not. I don't think.
Yeah.
The Cape.
Fucking The Cape.
Actually, though, he is making an appearance on Legends of Tomorrow this season on the CW.
Dan Harmon?
Dan Constantine.
The Constantine. Okay,
Yeah.
John Constantine.
Yeah. No, Dan, his cousin.
Yeah, sure.
Looks exactly like him.
It's the same actor and everything?
Yep, same one and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, might get you to watch some Legends of Tomorrow.
I've passively watched it a little bit.
I've actually watched a lot of it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where they go with it this season, but I've kind of said that every season, and I don't mean to disparage it. I enjoy it. I'm just I feel like there could be a little something more there, and plus they're also in this. They're also in this awkward area where what was his name? Is it Captain Freeze? No. Captain Cold.
Cold.
Yeah, they got this at the end of the first season, spoilers, he ends up sacrificing himself, very anti his character's momentum. So now they've gotten into this weird place where anytime they want to bring the actor back, there's always got to be some loophole, like, oh, they went to a time where he's still alive, or somebody else brought
so
him
they can pull him out at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and I think even The Flash did it last season as well. So, I mean, it's just like I think for me anyway, it's like they took one of their strongest characters, but he was taken out of play, and now you got to work that much harder just to work him in. So that seems like a chore. Speaking of seeming like a chore,
and that was kind of the muscle guy, right? The British dude.
No. It was Captain Cole.
Yeah.
That was Wentworth Miller, I think the actor's name from Prison Break.
Oh, yeah, because if you've got a structured settlement and you need cash now, call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
Did I say something wrong?
If you have a structured settlement but you need cash now, call J.G. Wentworth.
Why are you doing 2 free commercials for something I have no idea what you're talking about?
Oh, dude, I know you've seen that commercial before.
I don't know what you're talking about. I really, really don't. What are you talking about?
The J.G. Wentworth commercial.
Nope.
I'm going to tweet it out.
Nope. Well, I can't wait to look to the NetHeads channel later as I have my reaction video to the J.G. Wentworth or GT, whatever you said.
Oh, man.
Is this something that was all over TV when you were growing up?
Oh, it's still all over TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there are very few things that still have survived in the San Francisco Bay Area that have the same corny type commercial that they did for years and years and years.
Yeah,
Too much turnover. The sawmill's now been turned into part of a gym. What else? The Diamond Center is come and gone, I think. What other ones are from my channel? Nobody gives a shit. What am I talking about, Trent? Anyway.
I don't know.
You can see my reaction video to the commercial later. Until next time, though, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for listening. We greatly appreciate being your favorite monthly podcast. I don't know. Maybe we'll. I mean, this weekend it just wasn't happening. Trent was sleeping, and I was busy gallivanting.
Mm-hmm. You were all over the place.
I was a little all over the map. So, but maybe this weekend, maybe we do a weekday pickup show like this. I don't know, but
We'll figure it out.
We just got to stop making excuses. That's it. You know, the more we call attention to it, I should really stop right now. That's what I'll do. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, my name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
And we'll be back
soon.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off.
I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it.
NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
I have to tell you, I think my favorite part about the very end of this episode is that you came through and did your part with the "we'll be back soon," and then while I'm trying to make sure I'm hitting the right key so we don't suddenly hear like
At smodcast.com. Yeah.
instead of the other thing playing, it's like you just held freeze frame like the end of a Police Squad episode or something. You know, you just like.
So you're like, shit, what's going on?
Well, yeah, you just held it perfectly. He's just like, I'm like, wow, man, look, he's such a pro. He's just committed. So committed.
Uh-huh. Oh, and by the way, Mike Driscoll says, yes, 1979 is the year I was vaginally hatched.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that one.